And welcome back to part two here as we are speaking with our in-person studio guest, Ricky Rosas. Ricky, an alumni of, a proud alumni, I want to say, of the Garfield High School, the Bulldogs, and finished his high school career there and now enrolled at East LA Community College. Ricky, what's on the horizon here educationally for you now at ELAC?
Well, I'm gonna go back to ELAC in February to take spring classes. Hopefully, I'm gonna take 2 to 3 classes, depending on how full they get and what my counselor advises me to take,
Okay.
so I could get out of there as soon as possible.
Have you declared a major yet, or do you have time to still decide?
I want my major to be communications at the major, and a minor probably in business management.
Oh, okay. And then from East LA Community College, you want to get into
USC, of course.
USC, of course. All right. So the decision has been made. Ricky Rosas is headed to USC, but in due course, once he gets his AA degree, Associates of Arts at East LA College, he will be eligible then to enroll at the school of his choice, and he has already chosen USC, Trojan for life. Okay, Ricky, we want to, again, continue down the football path, and before we wind up the show, though, we're going to jump into some other sports because your knowledge of and your appreciation, your love of other sports is also very intense. We know that through just in our general conversations, whether we're on the phone or in texting. Ricky Rosas, he knows his stuff, as they would say. ESPN and Sports Center have nothing on this young man right here because he can compete with the best. But Ricky, let's go now to the Trojans in the NFL, because the other season that is just about done, which of course is the National Football League, they are down to their final two. Let's give your assessment over the weekend. Were your picks in the mix there?
My picks weren't really good because I just went for upsets. I got the one upset with the Jets over the Chargers, which was really nice because of Mark Sanders playing for them. The rest of them were just for the fun of it.
Okay.
So
we know that the veterano, Brett Favre, really showed people around the United States of America that he can still play this game, and he played it very well as he led the Vikings to an easy victory. Easy victory. Now they are in the mix here for the final. There's only 4 teams left, right?
yes, sir.
And we're going to know who's going to the Super Bowl this coming Sunday. But again, Ricky, before we get into the final look at the NFL, let's talk about some Trojans that are still making noise right now as we speak in the NFL. We know Mark Sanchez, you mentioned him.
Yes, Mark Sanchez.
Of course, had a tremendous game against the Chargers.
Yes, he did.
And we think that he was more under control. Would you say that Coach Rex Ryan kept him under conservative mode on passing?
Yes, they did. Yes, Rex Ryan kept him under control for his passing.
Okay, and the running game?
The running game, Reggie Bush.
Yes. New Orleans Saints?
Yes, for the Saints.
No problems. No problems with their opponent?
No problem whatsoever with the Cardinals. Just Reggie Bush was just too quick to handle. The Cardinals couldn't get him. The Cardinals couldn't stop him whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Really good running back.
But let's also talk about some of the other NFL players that are still had good seasons. And I was looking at admiring the top that you're wearing there. It looks like it's an NFL original.
Oh yes.
From the the Texans.
Oh yes, I'm wearing a Houston Texan Brian Cushing jersey, and Brian Cushing was the Rookie of the Year for the NFL this year.
Okay, and this is as they say, an authentic.
Yes, it is.
Okay, and it's autographed at some point on this uniform here?
Yes, it is. Brian Cushing signed the back of it for me.
Okay, and everyone, if you're not aware of Brian Cushing, it was last year with Ray Mauluga, Brian Cushing, and
Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews, who all went to the NFL.
Oh, and Kaluka Mayava.
Oh, okay. Well, a lot of SC Trojans are in the NFL, and now just kind of looking back now at the 2 that have declared from the SC Trojans for this year's team. Damian Williams.
And Joe McKnight.
Okay, your thoughts about that?
I'm really for Joe McKnight going into NFL. I think based on what happened with him with these investigations that they're happening, I think it was the best move for him to go back to the NFL.
Okay.
Go to the NFL because who knows what's gonna happen with this, and who knows where he'll be in the NFL. But I think it was the best move for him to go to the NFL.
Okay.
And as far as Damian Williams, I think that was a great move for him because yes, he is our number one receiver, but you never know what's going to happen with Lane and what quarterback he's going to decide to go with. We don't know if Barkley's going to be the starter again. We don't know what's going to happen, and I think Damian going to NFL with a smart move, very
And
smart.
certainly going to be a first round pick, do you think?
Damon, I want to say first round. I would say probably mid second round just to be safe, but a first round pick not out of the question for him.
Okay, because he does have the skills. There's no doubt about that. He electrified many SC fans during some of the games during his career. We were witness to several of those big gainers, long gainers throughout his career, and he just was a game breaker. That was Damian Williams, so he's going to be. I think he's going to go in the first round myself.
Well, I agree with you. I think he can go in the first round. It's going to depend on. You got to remember the NFL draft is all about what the teams need, and if they need a receiver in the first round. Not saying that Damian won't go in the first round. I think if they really want a receiver in the first round, that Damian Williams will be a great pick for him to go in the first round.
Okay, now, are there any other Trojans in the NFL that you might have maintained contact with during this year and the past year?
Well, I keep in contact with Lawrence Jackson from time to time, which is really cool.
Okay, Lawrence Jackson, of course, with the Seattle Seahawks, right?
Yes.
And that's going to be a reunion of sorts with when Coach Pete Carroll goes up there.
Yes, it is.
Okay, now who did Coach Carroll take with him up to the Seattle Seahawks?
He actually took Jeremy Bates, his offensive coordinator, and Ken Norton, the linebacker coach.
Oh, those are going to be hard positions to fill, do you think? Here for Coach Kiffin or no?
Depends on what Lane Kiffin wants to do. I don't think they're going to be hard at all.
Okay. So around the NFL, there are many Trojans, as we know from going way back to when the Trojans were in the dominant phase of college football, and that program continues to strike fear in opponents, the USC Trojans. Ricky, the schedule for this coming year, anything that's going to be different for the Trojans?
The biggest difference is that all their tough games are at home this year. Okay. And they get Hawaii, so they get a +1 game.
Okay. If you were looking at the Pac-10 media consensus for next year, where do you think they'll pick the Trojans to finish?
To be honest, it's way too early to tell. It's too early to tell. You cannot say what they're going to say because everybody has their own opinion.
Okay. There's one player here locally that, of course, we followed in his high school career out of Jordan High School. He was a Bulldog as well, and highly recruited by USC as a football player, James Boyd. Any info on how James is doing?
I have not talked to James lately. I have no info on him as of right now. Just hoping for the best for him too. He's a great guy. Okay. Love to see him around USC.
Ricky, would you like to see, or would you, if you were able to speak to Coach Kiffin, just even how can we say it, hypothetically, or in the ideal situation, if you were in there talking to him, well, what about possibilities of saying, hey, Coach, there's some good kids out here at Garfield and Roosevelt, some outstanding players. Can you take a look at them? Would that be something you might want to talk to Coach Kiffin about?
Well, that's up to the coaching staff at USC. I mean, I could always persuade them and see what they say, but it's gonna be up to them. They could look at the tape, and if they like them, they can recruit them. It's all up to them.
Okay. All right. Now, let's go back. We're kind of jumping back and forth here as we were talking college. Now we're at NFL. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to just go and give you the rundown here of the matchups for the NFL Final Four, if you want to call it that. The Jets will play the Colts in the AFC Championship. Kickoff Sunday, 12 noon, and then followed at 3:30 p.m. the Minnesota Vikings taking on the New Orleans Saints. And you're going to find those on your local TV channel without any problem. So that's the lineup. The picks now. Ricky, your picks.
My picks.